Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
So I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Thank you so much. I'm just going to dive right into what I want to say because this place I'm starting to feel antsy, jittery all day. Um, so first of all, in case anybody don't know who my brother Tyrone West is, because I never like to use the past tense was, but my brother Tyrone West, I'm gonna have to use was. He was a father. He was a church man. He was my big brother. He was a family guy. He was everything to my family. He was nothing to the animals that murdered him. Let's be clear, he was nothing. They knew nothing about him. Nothing about me, nothing about my family. They did not care. But he was everything to my family. And that's why for 10 long, dreadful years, we never stepped away from the truth. I never stepped away. And normally in stuff like this, when you see it or hear about it on the news, and it's unfortunate the news don't report accurately the way they should. And that's the saddest part because I feel like as news reporters, you're doing a disservice if you follow the police narrative. You're supposed to be fair, you're supposed to be transparent, you're supposed to be honest. And then every time I see whenever the news come out, and I thank you guys for coming out. But I see them playing. They might show my brother's dead body on the gurney, and then they might say it was a struggle with police, and Mr. West was scared to go back to foolishness, lies, blatant disrespect. But I know it's your job to report the news, but you need to be your own investigators. Do your homework before you report because it makes a big difference. For the simple fact, before my brother was murdered, I remember hearing Anthony Anderson's case, and what struck a bell with me because my family members, besides being West, were Andersons. So when I heard Anthony Anderson, my uncle name is Anthony Anderson, and I'm like, oh my God, what? So I just got glued to the television. But then as they went on to a story and they made it seem like Anthony Anderson was a drug dealer, they made it seem like he was so bad and he had a hand transaction and pretty much he ingested drugs and died. And my heart just went out for the fact I didn't know, but I started really believing the news. I was like, oh my God, here's this guy in fear of going to jail and he swallowed drugs and the poor guy died. I really thought that's what happened because that's what the media told me. That's what the television told me. That's what the television told me. So, but I still felt for him. But then a year later, and not saying my family was better than anyone else's family, but when you are invited to a club that you never signed up for, when you are forced to have conversations with people that don't even respect you, I was forced into this. And I remember it like it was yesterday, even though it was 10 years ago, I remember everything. And I often blame myself. And the reason why I blame myself, like many victim family members do know, but like many victim family members do, is blame yourself. Because all I keep saying, if I would not have let my brother borrow my vehicle, would he still be alive? That's all I ask myself. If I would have just said, no, you cannot go pick this young lady up that you barely know, no. But I would never tell my brother no. You know why? Because he would never tell me no. He was going to work and at the same time picking my daughter up from her job, picking my younger two up from camp. He was doing everything for me and my family. So how could I tell him no about doing a favor for somebody he barely knew? But I remember it like it was yesterday. My day started off beautiful. Just hearing my brother's voice was a beautiful memory no one could take from me. And when he called me that morning and he said, "Sis, are you up? You ready for work?" Because even though I'm a teacher, I teach all year round. Summer camp, just got off work today, teaching the same thing, summer camp, at the same spot. But I said all this to say, our day was beautiful. He went to work, I went to work, he picked me up, but me not knowing that this was our last day together on earth, me not knowing that something horrifying, something that you hear about or read about or see, me not knowing that this was going to ever happen to me. Our life was changed in a blink of an eye. And the saddest part, I got no phone call. It was the love, the relationship between me and my brother that told me something wasn't right. Literally, he picked me up from work, typical day, our every day. And he said, "Hey, sis, let's go get something to eat. I know you don't feel like cooking and all this heat." I said, "You got that right." And he said, "Well, you know what, sis? I'll treat us to a local restaurant. We can grab something to eat." Okay, sure, big bro. Let's go. We went to the local restaurant, never forget, 25th Street, right by our church. Got our meal, and while we're that want them off the street, that will get rid of them. And when you have a grown man chasing a baby down with a bat, in the communities that we live in, they want to get rid of it. And I'm praying they get it. Let the juries go over all the information, be fair, be transparent, and let this baby go. Because we obviously see that they don't care about our neighborhoods. Now, when the kids hang out down there at the harbor, it's a whole different ballgame. Come lock them up, all the officers are out, they gone. They can just say, "Oh, we planning to go hang out at the harbor, just for Easter." Got rid of them. They was putting up all this. But then, meanwhile, in Brooklyn, Meanwhile, in Brooklyn, let's talk about it. I'm talking about everything that's not right with me in this dirty system tonight. Meanwhile, in Brooklyn, where they traditionally throw a cookout where everybody from different neighborhoods come around, show their love, show their strength, and community engagement. Unfortunately, 30 people were shot. Unfortunately, two babies lost their lives. Unfortunately, how dirty this system is, we have an active community, active commissioner that does not deserve, like Shorty said, he don't deserve to serve. Let's be clear on that. Words will shut him down, Shorty. He don't deserve to serve because he was in office when my brother was murdered. He did nothing about it. I remember at City Hall breaking down crying in a resolution hearing, and he looked at me laughing and smiling. So he's very aware of what happened to Tyrone West. Would he do anything about his officers? No. The same thing he's doing now, covering up. But they rather blame everybody in Brooklyn. They even going after the people that had the U-Haul truck that delivered food. But you won't go for the officers that knew about this hours before. We heard the and that's some of the stuff that they let us hear. What about the stuff we couldn't hear? When they probably say, "Oh, we don't care about that damn neighborhood. Y'all go do what y'all gotta do. That's them. They out down the harbor. We don't care. Have a nice day. We don't care." And I wouldn't put it past any of them if they wasn't a part of it. That's me. That's not the West Coalition. That's Tawanda Jones speaking raw. Because I believe that they are the biggest gang in America. So if you think that the gun trace task force ended when you saw and read the book and you saw the different movies, something's wrong with you. It's still happening.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that they said that they get rid of, they bring right back. They just change the name. It's a name game. Same game, different name. Let's see what they're doing to us. When we were going down for the consent decree, they said, you know what, no more unmarked cars. That's the same thing that killed Freddie Gray, the same thing that killed Mr. West, all this foolishness. But now they got, instead of cars, they got SUV vans. All this. And right now we have to have the nerve to have an officer right there watching us. Go find who shot up Brooklyn. Go find and solve it. It might be one of the killers that murdered my brother because it was 17 maniacs. And let's not forget, the first year my brother got killed, at our first candlelight vigil, three of the officers that participated in my brother's brutal murder showed up here to watch my family grieve, to
Shame.
watch my aunt, that we call a mom, pass out and get placed in an ambulance. And thank God the Sunday Sun reported three of the animals that murdered my brother had the nerve. They sent them here to watch us. Just like they're sending them here now. Like this is ridiculous. But then you can have people running in the Capitol with guns and crawling up walls and all type of foolishness. Nothing never happened. But we can't stand here and demonstrate the love for our loved one that was brutally murdered by their hands and without them watching us. Don't watch me. Watch those killers. Watch yourself. Look in the mirror. You dead. You want to watch
Mm-hmm.
something. But I say like to say it breaks my heart because right before my brother was murdered, down the street, 2 blocks over, Darrell Harris. And if you don't believe me, look at the video footage. Just hashtag Tyrone West, Justice for Tyrone West, West Wednesday, you will see it. Darrell Harris was driving up this way, and what happened to him? Ruiz and Chapman, they almost killed him. Thank God he got the person in his car to say, hey, we don't feel safe. We're not breaking the law. We don't feel safe. And it stopped that heinous attack. But they were still bloodthirsty because 17 days before, there was Abdul Salam who live around here, community member that everybody knows. And what saved Abdul's life, I believe that he knew this community. They knew him, they knew his wife, they knew his 3-year-old baby, and a 70-something-year-old woman had to come out of the house your uncle, Mom, you coming to get me? He's still coming. No, baby. Something bad happened. You went to catch a cab. I'm telling my daughter this without knowing. I never got a phone call. The only thing I got was the news, the 10 o'clock news. Everything that I thought, my worst imagination. I see my brother's dead body on the gurney. I see witnesses who said they had cell phone footage. Cell phone footage like a Freddie Gray where we saw it. And it's unfortunate we have people that we got to see somebody getting brutally murdered or executed before we believe that it's real. It's unfortunate. But there are tapes out there with my brother being executed. Ask me if we got him. The very next day, Commissioner Betts seized this whole community, took their cell phone, took these poor witnesses down, harassed them, made them seem like they killed Tyrone, threatening them, all that. So when I think about Detective Suda and how they did what they did, oh no, this happened back in 2013, the same thing. They couldn't come in and out this damn neighborhood because they wanted them to lie for the police, and those brave, beautiful souls never changed their story. Never. And they unfortunately gave them their cell phone footage. And to this day, we don't have it. So if anybody under the sound of my voice hear it, you have that video, please contact me. Please send it. You can send it through social media. Please send it. We need that because unfortunately, we are people until we see 17 men or one unarmed man screaming, help, Trayvon Martin, help. Please help. Call 911. Till we see that, we're not going to believe it. It's unfortunately Marla Mosby did nothing. She used me to get in office. We supported her, all that. For her to turn her back and walk away. Everybody that comes in office disrespects my family. That's why we got Greg Bernstein. We protest. That's why Wes Wednesday was actually born, to get Greg Bernstein out of office. Yes. He birthed Wes Wednesday. Let's be clear. He birthed Wes Wednesday. I'm like, we're going to protest in front of that. And then it's sad because now we have Darnell Rochester's poor mom. Same exact thing, situation type of thing. Her baby was killed, and now she's there every Thursday. We was there every Wednesday for years until we got him kicked out of office. It's sad that the families have to go this, but I can go on, but I'm going to let y'all know I'm not. I love you guys, and I will never, ever stop fighting, not just for my big brother Tyrone West, but for all the victims of police brutality, for all the victims of murder, because these are not isolated incidents, not broke up. Community violence is tied in with police brutality. These poor wages that they give out babies that just want to work. Babies, you talking about going after a squeegee working up, trying to take care of their family. Like, come on now. Like, enough is enough. Like, make it make sense. But tonight, I have other, unfortunately, I wouldn't wish nobody into this club, but I have other impacted families here. I'm going to bring on my sister, Angela, first, because she took a long drive here. She don't even live here. But you better believe it. She's not going to stop where she lives at. She's going to come in. She's going to fight for accountability, not just for her brother, but for my brother, Marcus, father, Anthony, and she's gonna fight for all the victims. Mic check.
Mic check.
And following after her, I'm gonna bring my brother Marcus.
Mic check.
Mic check.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
Fuck the police.
Fuck the police.
They always come out when we're out here. Tonight is about Tyrone West. Say his name.
Tyrone West.
Say his name.
Tyrone West.
Say his name.
Tyrone West.
I want them to hear it. It's a shame that this family have to be out here 10 years later fighting for accountability. I'm going to need Westmore, Ivan Bates. Who's your new commissioner?
Yeah, the new
Fuck
commissioner.
Brandon Scott. He ain't nothing but a little boy. He ain't gonna do nothing.
New commissioner's not the new commissioner yet.
He need to be on his way out. Like, for real, he's a boy. He's not even a man. New commissioner, I guess he's like Michael Harrison. Another one.
He's worse. He's in a white supremacist. Oh my God.
It sounds like I'm in North Carolina instead of Maryland. I sound like I'm in North Carolina. 10 years is too long to be fighting for accountability. My brother Timothy Fleming was murdered 2 years ago. I can't even imagine being out here 10 years. But I know it's going to happen because they don't care. This city never cared. They never will. It's a shame that we come out here, we fight. And all they do is come around and look and see who else they're going to kill next.
Yeah, see?
Fuck the police!
Fuck the police.
And that's coming from me, not West Winds, Angela.
And Tawanda.
Mm-hmm.
Again, today is about Tyrone West, my sister Tawanda and her family, and her family being out here fighting for accountability for her brother. We will not stop until killer cops are in cell blocks.
That's right.
Say that one more time. Can't stop, won't stop.
Till killer cops are in cell blocks.
That's right. No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
Fuck them pig ass police.
Fuck the police.
Mic check.
Mic check.
So I'm bringing my brother and his wife up next. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
It's evening now. Sun is going down. Police is sitting in the cut, waiting to act up. Fuck 'em. Hi to all of you that may not know me. I'm Marcus. I'm the son of Anthony Anderson, who was brutally murdered back in 2012 down on Biddle and Montford. Lo and behold, it was on the day of my niece's birthday. So she has to remember a tragedy on a joyous day.
Shame, shame.
The day that my father and her grandfather encountered the Baltimore City Police Department in one of the most horrendous, should I say, ways that a man could die. Man was beat to death in that lot across from the fire department, nonetheless. He was only coming back from the store, packaged goods store, getting something to drink. Police report came out. They claimed that he was involved in a hand-to-hand transaction. They never once hunted down anyone who he was acquainted with that day. He spent all that he had because, again, we were representing my niece's birthday, so we were planning her party. That was his last. Police crept up behind him, never announced themselves, and hoisted him over his head and slammed him on the head and neck area. His eyes beginning to roll back, started going into convulsions. He put his knee in the back of my father, tried to hold him up. When my grandmother got wind of the situation, everyone raced to my grandmother's house to let her know what was going on. She come out there, and she's like, "What are you doing to my son? What's going on?" "Oh, he's just faking so he don't go to jail."
Shame.
Shame.
And their exact words were to my grandmother, "Back up, bitch, before the shit happens to you."
Shame. Witnesses right here.
Then they said that he tried to swallow some pills. They found some empty, broken vials in that same lot where he died at and tried to shove it in his mouth. They said that he died of an overdose. If he died of an overdose, how can you explain 6 broken ribs and a ruptured spleen, head and neck contusions? How can you explain that? Then they say he tried to run from police. Man was on a cane, getting ready to prep himself for foot surgery
Shame.
in the next coming weeks. Where did he run at? Mind you, he got beat to death across from the fire department. They came rushing out immediately. The police told him to administer Narcan for possible overdose.
Same thing they did to Tyrone West.
This is what they do to our people. This is what they do to our people. It's a cover up.
A big cover up. They say they had drugs in their system.
Yeah,
Because the same chemicals and cocaine that's in Narcan.
absolutely. They held the fire department up for 2 to 3 hours to try to corroborate their story.
Same thing they did with my brother. They left him in dead.
This is
They
what,
put him 3 minutes away. Same
this is
thing.
a pattern.
Same thing.
This
And
is
they
a
said-
pattern with us.
They said my brother ingested drug hit to make Bill Henry take that coma back.
Medical examiner's office, once it got down to John Hopkins,
Mhm.
revealed he had no drugs in the system. He had no money or drugs on his person. So for him to be involved in a hand-to-hand drugs transaction, that would first be impossible.
Shame.
They deemed it a homicide right off the break. I call him Greg Krugerstein because he looks like Freddy Krueger.
Just like Freddy Krueger.
Out here murdering these people and helping his cops. He laughed in my family face when we said that we wanted to prosecute these officers.
Shame.
I almost went to jail that day because I was fitting to crawl across that desk. His assistant, I call him all types of house niggas. I said, you really sit there and you're working for a boss that is killing your own.
Plantation politics.
Huh.
That's right.
Say it again.
Politics.
Plantation politics.
That's right.
This has to stop. This has to stop. The Officer Bill of Rights needs to be incinerated. It needs to be burnt up to the crisp because they're comfortable within those codes and laws. Because all they had to do is when they murder one of us, they say, oh, we fear for our life. Oh, I felt as though he had a weapon. He fit the description. Displayed currently. These are the top 5 topics that they bring up in court proceedings to try to get these pigs off. It's disgusting.
That's right.
That's where we need to start at. The Officer Bill of Rights being reprogrammed.
Mm.
And not for their advantage.
For us. Knock the system down.
Knock it down all the way to the motherfucking curb.
Yeah.
Put it to sleep. They say they're here to protect and serve, but when shit hits the fan, they're here to protect and serve themselves. When they say they're here to protect and serve, they claim that they're here to protect and serve the community. But when the shit hits the fan, they only here to protect and serve themselves.
Mhm.
The Blue Klux Klan
Mm.
is what I call them. They're disgusting animals. I told Greg Bernstein in his face, I said, what if I was to kill one of your officers? What would you do? You would bury me under the jail and melt the lock and the key. What if one of your police officers killed one of your family members? What would you do? How would you feel?
Mhm.
He continued to laugh. Giggle, 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 giggle. This is a disgrace. Everyone that's coming into the office now is despicable, especially Brandon Scott. He's too soft. Soft.
Wet toilet paper.
Soft to be in office. He's a yes boy.
Mhm.
He's a yes boy. Yes, I'm massa. I do whatever you say.
Yes.
But when shit hit the fan, you're going to be the face of everything. They're going to leave you high and dry. House boy.
That part.
We always leave them high.
That part.
He's too soft for this city.
High and dry.
High and dry. They leave him high and dry. He's getting,
Dry and dry.
No
It's
honor
despicable.
among thieves.
Listen. I understand that this is disgusting times that we are able to gather. But I thank my sister for bringing us aboard. And it's never a day that doesn't go past that she doesn't mention me and my family and what we're going through. This is my angel right here on earth. I thank God for her. We cannot allow these families to die off, because that's what they want. That's what they want. They want us to stay hush. That's why they send one of their lackeys to sit over in the alley to watch over. We have to continue this fight.
That's right.
They cannot hush our voices. And even after we're dead and gone, continue to fight. This is a younger generation right here. This is who we're fighting for. This is who we're fighting for. We need to give them something to do. We need to stop closing all these rec centers. We need to stop closing all these schools. Give them something to do. Stop pushing them out in the streets to be brutally murdered like our family members. That's what they want. They rather make money off of us than to educate us. Oh
They
yeah.
don't even know how to write in cursive.
Oh yeah.
That's it.
Give them opportunities. Anyone that's interested in sports. We want a semi-pro football organization, ages 17 and older. We try to get them fresh out of high school. When they start smelling themselves a little bit, thinking they're too grown, you're not as grown as me. But we give them opportunities to stay out of the streets. That's what it's all about, giving opportunities. So it doesn't turn into tragedy. All parents out here, we have 17 or older gentlemen that would like to play sports, even if he's not interested. Bring him out to our program. Let him work out with us. I guarantee we will get him on our team. I thank you for your time.
Thank you.
How everybody doing this evening?
All right.
My name is Nicole Pettiford, and I am the daughter-in-law of Anthony Anderson, and I'm the mother of Ajay Harad, who was killed 2 weeks later after my father-in-law in 2012. Today is hard for me because tomorrow is her birthday. She would have been 27 years old tomorrow. We've all done things in our lives. We've all made mistakes, but we got the opportunities to grow up and try to correct some of our mistakes. My daughter never got that opportunity. She met her demise because of something they thought she saw. They took my 16-year-old daughter downtown for questioning about a murder, about what they thought she saw. Every time something happens, they send somebody back around to make sure that they have completed their task. When they saw the police put my daughter in that car, she was rendered as a snitch right then and there. So that was the beginning of her death right there. What I thank God for is because me and my daughter got into a really bad argument, and I wasn't speaking to her. And she kept calling me, Mommy, I want to talk to you. And I said, Smiley, because I called her Smiley. She had a beautiful smile. She said, I want to talk to you, or I apologize. So she had a girlfriend to call me finally that Friday. And she said, Miss Nicole, Smiley don't have nowhere to go. She don't have no coat or nothing. But I was still angry. So I'm like, what do you want me to do about it? I don't care. She's disrespectful. So she snatched the phone from her. And she said, Mom, I love you. I'm sorry. I want to go back to school. And I want you to help me get my Maryland State ID so I can go back to school. So my heart started to melt. So I said, you know what, Smiley? I said, I'm going to help you this time. I said, but if you ever disrespect me like that again, I'm going to cut you off and I'm not going to deal with you anymore. I said, come past the house Monday. We're going to see what we can do about getting your Maryland State ID. She said, okay, Mommy, I love you. I said, I love you too. That was the last time I heard my daughter's voice because she got killed that Sunday, so she never made it to my house. I don't know if she could have went back to school and became something. I don't know what her life could have been if they would have took my baby from me. And I tried so hard to be strong, and I'm out here, and I'm fighting for everybody, but I'm out here fighting for two people and one that I never got a chance to meet because they took it from me. And that was my father-in-law. I never met my father-in-law. He got killed before I got the opportunity to meet him. And I'm out here fighting for this man that I never seen. And the first time I ever seen him was in his casket. I gave him a kiss and I gave him a hug and I told him I loved him. I literally have his face tattooed on my leg, along with my daughter and Michael Jackson because he was my favorite. So I just said that to say that we have got to stick together. We have got to fight the fight. You know, we sit here and we watch television like my queen said and my husband said or whatever, but I call it television, telling lies to your vision, because they tell you what they want you to know. They don't give you the whole facts and all the story. They don't know the pain and the anguish that we go through as the families when we have to sit here and miss our loved ones on a daily basis. All I have now is memories of my daughter. I'm never going to see my daughter become some cut short because what y'all decided to do. And it is sick and it is disgusting. And I still pray that these pigs never have to go through this because it's not fun. I'm not a hateful person. I hate what y'all did. I hate the way that y'all doing our families. I hate the way that y'all do us on an everyday basis, but I don't hate y'all. But I do have a song that I wrote for my daughter when she died because my daughter had an angel. She could sing to my daughter's voice. But I wrote a song sitting in front of the television thinking about her. It was almost like she came to me and she gave me the words to say because she was comforting me. And this helps me get through. And I want to share it with y'all. It's called All Planned Out. Don't tell me it's over now. I said don't tell me it's over now. Please don't tell me it's over now. 'Cause God's got it all planned out. I said my Father's got it, and it's all planned out. Yes, our Father's got it, and it's all planned out. I tell you, God's got it, and it's all planned out. So don't you worry, it's all planned out. And if you feel like you're all stressed out, don't you worry, it's all planned out. And when you feel like you're all left out, don't you worry, it's all planned out. I said my Father's got it, and it's all planned out. Yes, your Father's got it, and it's all planned out. I tell you, God's got it, and it's all planned out. So don't you worry, it's all planned. Ah,
So at this time, I want to ask anybody if they want to say anything, share any words or anything.
I just want to say that I feel like my family was robbed. It's been 10 years and this never gets easy. It's so hard to even look at my mother today because I just feel like she was robbed. I feel like I was robbed of an uncle. My mom was robbed of a brother. She was robbed of more than a brother. He was a provider. He was like our everything. And the fact that we don't have him now, it hurts. And it's been 10 years, but the pain never goes away. I just graduated from college and my uncle wasn't even there to see me graduate. And it's just so hard to even, I can't even, words can't even say how I feel right now. Like it's just, the pain never goes away. I miss my uncle every day. I believe if my uncle was alive, his artwork would probably be in museums right now, like all over the world. My uncle was so talented. I just, today's really hard to die.
And I just wanted to say that he is so proud of you. I'm proud of you. And he always talked real good about this one. He said, "Sis, you think you ain't seen your baby yet." And if the pain was so real, the first time she had just was in college, she actually stopped college because she was so traumatized, but she was determined to go back and finish. And I'm so proud of you.
We don't usually speak long words. And I'm being real quick. It's just life come at you so fast. When this tragedy occurred, we were 19, we were 19 babies in the summertime, fresh out of just living life, trying to figure things out. Here we are on the cusp of being 30 in 10 years, and it feel like it occurred 5 minutes ago. And then you get placed into this game you never wanted to play, and life just keeps going, and you're watching everybody live their life and do their thing, and you're stuck in this bubble, you and your family, and you feel this pain, and you wake up and you feel this pain, you go to sleep and you feel this pain, and 10 years later, nothing changes. Nothing changes but the time, and we've lost some pivotal people in this family since this has occurred, and you get new pain and new feelings, and everything happens, and it all just resonates. We just moving, just keep on moving. I'm just going through the motions. I don't feel nothing. I'm just moving because I'm stuck. I'm stuck where I was 10 years ago. I've gotten older. Life has gotten harder, and you just keep pushing. But you don't forget these moments in life. This was just a challenge we never expected to face. We didn't expect to wake up that morning and say, okay, this is what we thought to do. And we never expected to lose our loved ones. So coming here, every year, it re-resonates those feelings. It's fresh and it's a hope and boom. And I think back, when I was young and 19 and now older, I think about how we were treated and how we didn't get that compassion from like the delegates that we were supposed to depend on, the people that we're supposed to trust to tell us about our loved ones. We didn't get that compassion. We had to find out things on our own. We wouldn't have even known if we had to watch television news. Nobody called and told us nothing. We found out like the rest of the world found out. And to then moving forward, finding out in the holidays the way our former state attorney looked us right in our face right before the holidays and said, we're not going to do anything. We're not on charges. And you reflect on those feelings. You reflect on those feelings every day. And I would try to think that for the whole family which we stand on, that we are all pushing forward for change, to make things right, to be advocates for the voiceless, for people who didn't get the chance to speak for themselves, for those that we've lost. And now it's been 10 long years. It's been 10 long years, and we're just sick and tired of being sick and tired. That's what I got.
And I want to say something to my little cousin. No, but I I know he's super proud of you. I'm super proud of you. Just the brains of the family. You get it from my mama. But I just love you. I'm super proud of you. Working, she's a teacher now, and she's also the cook chemist. They can cook all that. So super proud of you. Super proud of you, baby. My baby a boss.
I want to say one more thing. I think the first part about today is the fact that my uncle died 10 years ago. I just knew we were going to get justice. I always had this positive opinion of the police before my uncle got killed. And just the fact that it's been 10 years, it's been a decade since my uncle got murdered and we don't have any justice. And it doesn't feel like we're getting it. And it just hurts so bad because my mom fights so hard and she's such a strong person and she's such a soldier. And that's all we want is justice. We've just been asking for the people that murdered my uncle just to be held accountable while we're crying and we're having horrible holidays and Thanksgiving isn't the same, Christmas isn't the same, nothing is the same because they took somebody so pivotal to our family. And it's just, I always thought that it would never take us this long to get justice. Always thought, okay, it was the first year. I'm like, okay, maybe that's still your justice. Maybe the year after that was justice. And it's like we just keep getting pushed to the side. And more people are getting murdered. More families with the same story. And it just keeps happening over and over again. And it's all we want. All we want is justice. Why is that so hard? Why is it so hard for us to just have the people that murdered my uncle be held accountable? For them to suffer the consequences of their actions. We suffer consequences every day. You live by the choices that you make. They decided to murder an unarmed black man. They should be put in justice, but they're not. They're able to enjoy their family. They're able to take vacations. They're able to do all these positive things. But what are we doing? We're miserable. Life is not the same without my uncle, and it never will be.
Mic check.
Mic
Okay, some of you guys out here know that I don't cut cards when I speak. So I'm going to be brutally honest, and I expect everybody to respect what I'm about to say. Now, I make my cousins t-shirts every year. Our t-shirts have meaning. I'm not just going to the store and saying, okay, let me get that to put a picture on. No, our t-shirts have meaning. This year, I decided to go with a white shirt. The white represents white man's world. The picture that I have underneath is a picture of some of the cousins together surrounded by Tyrone West. The letters I have on the top, FOE, means family over everything. So with us being in this white man's world, at the end of the day, it's family over everything. I had a time, and me and my sister have been witnesses to different incidents that took place. The first incident was with Tyrone West, my cousin. He was brutally murdered, beat to death. The second incident was with my brother. My brother was murdered on January the 20th, 2021. Inauguration Day. January 6th of 2021. Donald Trump called his goons to go into the White House. I'm saying that to say it's a white man's world. Everybody sees it. Everybody knows it. My brother, the person who was arrested, he's a suspect. Let me make sure I put that out there. He's a suspect. The color of his skin is white.
White.
He's a suspect in 2 other murders in Baltimore City.
Shame.
The only question that keeps running through my head is, why wasn't this brought to the media? I see all my black brothers who are suspects in murders and crimes all over the city. Their face is plastered everywhere. So what does this man have that's different from these other guys who are suspects in crimes? Is it because the color of his skin?
Yes, absolutely.
On top of, we have triggers that triggers us to break down and cry. Even with a smell of a flower, it gives us a memory, and the memories are brought back fresh. My son, after my brother was murdered, my son was in a car accident with Baltimore City police. When I arrived on the scene, I stood there and kept trying to remember, where did I know this damn officer from? I couldn't put my finger on it until I read his badge, his name. And it was Officer Ruiz, the same man that murdered my fucking cousin. Come to find out, they made him a supervisor on the scene. When I went to make a complaint, they threw it out. He did everything to sabotage police reports and everything against my son. But what made me not notice who he was at first is because he had hair. When he murdered my cousin, he was bald-headed. This is the type of shit that pisses me off. Because how can you imagine how I felt when I realized who he was? Just that instant, if I wouldn't have got to my son time enough, who goes to say what would have happened? I also want to touch our children. I am fed up with the fact that it's the people from city of Baltimore. I'm tired of keep hearing who is doing this, who not doing this, who's not doing this. This is the last thing I'm gonna say. Everybody in Baltimore City needs to get up and get your children. You cannot blame anybody else for your children's actions. Get your babies because they are dying. They are going to jail. Get your babies.
And I just want to tell my cousin Jamie that I love her like I love her to death, man. And when I said her brother, my cousin, my best cousin, all my family members mean so, but this was my favorite cousin. And he was actually murdered on the night that the ACLU gave the damning report about Ruiz. My cousin was murdered. And I had to do West Wednesday a few hours later. Didn't go to work, cried all day, everything. But I just want to let my cousin know I love her, and we will get accountability, not just for my brother Tyrone West. We're going to get accountability for Tavon Anderson. We're going to get accountability for Timothy Fleming, Anthony Anderson, and for all the victims of police brutality and murder. We're going to get accountability. And even though you may not get held down here, but one day you will be judged. Yes. You will be judged. That's my belief. That's not West Coalition. And karma is something else. It hits us all. You treat people the way you want to be treated. And as you can see, Louise is a very deadly, dangerous person that's stalking my family, and nobody's doing nothing about it. So I just want to give a big shout out, like literally to everybody. I'm seeing faces that I haven't seen yet. My beautiful sister Beth, Megan is on the front line, and Megan was a part of the accountability board, and she actually wore my brother's mask the day she was sworn in. That means like she's not just wearing a mask to wear. She talked about. She brought Tyrone West to that table. So a big shout out to each and every last one of you guys. I love you. Uncle Bill, where's the balloon at? We're gonna get the balloon. We were so bad the candles lit, but everything is just different this year. That's fine. We just gonna let the balloons off. You guys time to do whatever the age was that my brother was turning. I would do the amount of balloons. But the thing, he was 44 when he was murdered, and he would have been 50. He turned 54 this year, and we had to say happy heavenly birthday. That's disgusting. But I didn't. and that was my big brother's best cousin. They hung out together, laughed, joke, all that. And we're now cousin boo this Friday. How many family members do we have to bury before we get accountability? It's not fair, it's not right. So let's just take 2 minutes of silence, starting down. Thank you guys so much. So after the balloons are all the way up in the sky, could you please blow out your candle? And as we let these balloons up to what I believe is the heavenly ways, I just want to say to my big brother Tyrone West, I miss you. We love you, and we're gonna keep on fighting. I don't care how many more years, and I hope it's not another 10 years before we get accountability. My only prayer before this year closes out that they reopen not just your case, but all the victims' cases of police brutality and murder, and charge these officers and hold them accountable, hold anybody of wrongdoings accountable. That's all we ask for. So I love you, my big brother.